Hey everyone, welcome back again to the Easy English Room podcast. I'm Henry, speaking to you from London, and yeah, as always, it feels great to be here with you. Honestly, every time we record a new episode, it feels like we're just sitting down and having a relaxed conversation with all of you, wherever you are in the world, whether you're at home, commuting, or even studying. So, yeah, thanks for being here with us again.
Hey guys, it's Emma here, also joining you from London. And honestly, I'm really excited about today's episode. I've been thinking about this topic a lot lately, and it's one of those topics that feels very real and very relatable, especially if you're a student or someone trying to manage life on your own. It's something we all go through at some point.
Yeah, exactly. And in fact, I think a lot of our listeners will really see themselves in today's topic because we're talking about daily routines, especially for students who live alone. And that situation comes with a lot of freedom, but also a lot of responsibility.
Right, and that's not always easy, is it? I mean, managing your time, staying organized, cooking your own meals, keeping your place clean, studying regularly, and somehow still having time to relax or enjoy yourself. It's a lot to handle, and sometimes it can feel overwhelming.
Yeah, definitely. And to be honest, when I was a student back in London, I didn't always have a clear routine. Not at all. Some days I would wake up late, skip breakfast, rush to class, and then feel tired and unproductive for the rest of the day. And that made things much harder than they needed to be.
Same here. I mean, sometimes I'd start the day without any plan at all, just going with the flow. And before I knew it, the whole day was gone, and I hadn't really done anything important or meaningful. And that feeling at the end of the day is honestly not very nice.
Exactly. So today, we thought it would be really helpful to share a real example, something practical, something you can actually learn from and maybe apply to your own life. Not just ideas, but something real and concrete.
And that's why we invited Laura. She's a student who lives alone and has built a really balanced daily routine. And what I like about her routine is that it's realistic. It's not perfect, but it works.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that her routine includes early mornings, school, self-care, cooking, and a lot more. It's a full day, but it's organized in a very thoughtful way.
And honestly, when I first heard about her schedule, I had one big question. Does she actually sleep? Because waking up that early and doing all of that sounds impressive, but also a bit intense.
Yeah, same here. I was thinking the exact same thing. Like, how do you manage all that without feeling exhausted? But I guess we're about to find out.
Well, instead of guessing, let's actually hear it from her.
Yeah, let's do that. So, Lara, thanks a lot for joining us today. We're really happy to have you here, and we're really looking forward to hearing about your routine in detail.
Thank you so much, Henry and Emma. I'm really glad to be here. And honestly, I'm excited to share my routine with you and your listeners because I remember when I didn't have a routine and things felt messy and unorganized. So if this can help even one person, that would be amazing. So let me take you through my day step by step. And I'll try to be as detailed as possible so you can really imagine it and maybe even picture yourself doing something similar. My day usually starts at 5 a.m. I know that sounds very early, and to be honest, it wasn't easy at the beginning. Not at all. The first few weeks were really difficult. I felt tired, and sometimes I didn't even want to get out of bed. But over time, I got used to it. And now it feels natural, like my body just knows it's time to wake up. The first thing I do is get out of bed, even if I still feel a bit sleepy. I try not to stay in bed scrolling on my phone because I know that will just make me more lazy. So I get up right away and slowly walk to the bathroom. Then I brush my teeth, splash cold water on my face, and try to wake myself up. And I have to say, the cold water really helps, even if it feels a bit shocking at first. It kind of resets my mind and makes me feel more alert. After that, I do some stretches. Nothing too difficult or complicated, just simple movements to wake up my body, like stretching my arms, my back, and my legs. And honestly, it makes a big difference. I feel less sleepy, more relaxed, and more ready to start the day. Next, I make myself a cup of coffee. And this is one of my favorite moments of the day. It's quiet, peaceful, no noise, no distractions. I just sit down, enjoy the moment, and take a few minutes for myself. Sometimes I look outside the window, sometimes I just sit in silence. While I'm drinking my coffee, I set my goals for the day. I usually write them down in a small notebook. I list my main tasks for school, like assignments, deadlines, or study sessions, and I try to be realistic, not too ambitious. And I also add one or two personal goals. Sometimes it's something simple, like practicing new vocabulary, reading a few pages of a book, or even drinking more water. Small things, but they matter. This really helps me stay focused. It's like giving myself a small plan or roadmap for the day, so I don't feel lost or confused about what to do next. Once I finish my coffee, I go to the gym around 5:30. And I want to say I'm not a professional athlete or anything. I keep it simple, just light jogging, some basic exercises, and a few weight movements. But even that small workout gives me a lot of energy. And I've noticed that on days when I go to the gym, I feel much more active, more positive, and more ready to handle everything. It really changes my mood. After the gym, I come back home and take a shower. And honestly, that shower feels amazing after exercising. It helps me feel fresh and clean. Then I do my skincare routine: cleanser, moisturizer, and sunscreen. And for me, this is also a kind of self care moment. It's not just about appearance, it's about taking care of myself and feeling good. Then I prepare breakfast, usually scrambled eggs with toast and some fruit. Sometimes I change it a little, but I like to keep it simple and healthy, something that gives me energy and helps me stay focused during the morning. After breakfast, I pack my backpack, check that I have everything I need: my books, my notes, my laptop, and I take a moment to make sure I'm prepared. Then I head out. My classes usually start around 8:30, and my schedule includes lectures, group projects, and sometimes presentations, so it can be quite busy and sometimes a bit stressful. During class, I really try to stay engaged. I take notes, ask questions, and focus on understanding the material, not just listening, but actually learning. And honestly, having a routine helps me a lot. Without it, I think I would feel lost and my day would be much more chaotic. I wouldn't know where to start or what to prioritize. So, yeah, that's my typical morning and start of the day. It might sound like a lot, but for me, it really works, and it makes my life feel more balanced and more in control.
Wow, Lara, that was really impressive. Honestly, listening to you made me reflect on my own habits, and I can see how much thought you've put into your routine.
Yeah, honestly, thank you so much for sharing all that. It was clear, very detailed, and really helpful. I think a lot of people will relate to this and learn from it.
I mean, I love how structured your day is, but at the same time, it doesn't feel too strict or overwhelming. It feels balanced, like you have discipline, but also flexibility.
Exactly. And I think a lot of our listeners can learn from this, especially the idea of setting goals and starting the day calmly, not rushing, not panicking.
Yeah, and also the importance of small habits like stretching, planning, and even taking a moment to enjoy your coffee. Those small moments really add up.
So, Laura, thanks again for being with us today. We really appreciate it, and I'm sure our listeners do too.
Yeah, I was just thinking, what really stood out to me was how she starts her day slowly, not rushing, not jumping straight into stress or pressure.
Yeah, that's true. Instead of waking up late and rushing out the door, she gives herself time to prepare, both mentally and physically, and that makes a huge difference.
And I think that makes a big difference because when you start your day calmly, the rest of the day feels more manageable. You feel more in control. And also the idea of writing down goals. It sounds simple, almost too simple, but it's actually very powerful. It gives direction to your day.
Yeah, even small goals like drinking more water or learning new vocabulary can really help build good habits over time. And those habits can completely change your lifestyle.
And let's not forget the gym part. I mean, exercising in the morning is not easy at all, especially that early. But clearly, it gives her a lot of energy and motivation.
Definitely. And even if someone doesn't go to the gym, they can still take that idea and do something simple, like walking, stretching, or even a short home workout.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about building a routine that works for you, not copying everything exactly, but taking inspiration and adapting it to your own life. And I think that's the key message here. Having a routine doesn't mean your day is boring or repetitive. It actually helps you feel more relaxed, more organized, and more productive. Yeah, that's a really good point. And honestly, it's something I think we all need to be reminded of sometimes.
So, yeah, if you're listening to this, maybe try adding just one small habit to your day, something simple, and see how it feels.
Exactly. Start small and build from there, step by step. And over time, those small changes can make a big difference. And I really feel that asking questions makes everything feel much clearer and more organized in my mind. And I also notice that I remember things much better and more effectively when I actively ask and think. We usually get a few short breaks during the day, so I often take that time to review my notes carefully, chat a bit with friends to refresh my mood, or sometimes grab a coffee and just relax for a moment. It sounds like a really nice and healthy balance to have in your day. Do you find that those little social breaks actually help you stay focused and refreshed for the rest of the school day and keep your energy going?
Definitely. I completely agree. Those small breaks really give my mind a chance to rest and reset, and they help keep me from feeling overwhelmed or overloaded with too much information at once. When I get home, it's usually time for lunch, and I'll typically make something quick but still healthy, like a fresh salad with vegetables and chicken, or sometimes a simple pasta dish. Cooking is actually very relaxing for me after a long day at school, and I also really enjoy knowing exactly what goes into my food and how it's prepared.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. Cooking your own lunch must feel really satisfying and rewarding in many ways. Do you feel more energized and refreshed after having a home-cooked meal compared to something quick or processed?
Totally. I really do feel a noticeable difference. After lunch, I usually take some time to clean up around my apartment. Since I live alone, I'm responsible for everything, so I try to do a quick sweep, put things away neatly, and wash any dishes that I've used. Keeping everything tidy and organized makes a big difference in how I feel mentally. A clean space really does mean a clear and calm mind, right?
That's actually really smart and practical. Doing just a little bit of cleaning each day instead of letting everything pile up sounds like a great habit to build and maintain.
Exactly. It really helps me stay on top of things. After that, I usually go over my notes from class again or start working on any assignments that I have. By the time evening comes, I'm ready for a proper break. I like to make myself a nice and comforting dinner, like stir-fried vegetables with rice, or maybe a warm, cozy bowl of soup. After dinner, I relax by watching a show or reading a bit, and it becomes my personal time to recharge and unwind.
That sounds so cozy and peaceful, honestly. Taking that kind of time for yourself in the evening sounds really wonderful and important for maintaining balance.
It really is. I truly enjoy it. Then I move on to my nighttime skincare routine, which includes using a cleanser, moisturizer, and sometimes even a face mask. I also take time to care for my hair, maybe applying a leave-in conditioner or a serum. It feels like a mini spa night at home, and I absolutely love that feeling of self-care and relaxation.
Yes, that sounds like such a lovely and calming ritual to end the day with and prepare yourself for a good night's rest.
Exactly. It's my little ritual to fully relax before going to bed. After that, I set my alarm for 5 a.m., get everything ready for the next day, and then it's off to sleep so I can start fresh again.
Emma, thank you so much for sharing your day with us in such detail. It's truly inspiring and full of practical ideas that listeners can easily apply to their own lives. I feel like I've learned so much just by hearing your routine.
Thank you, Henry. I really appreciate that. I'm glad I could share my day, and I truly hope it helps others build their own routines and find what works best for them in their daily lives.
We're sure it will. Thanks again, Emma, for giving us such a clear and detailed look into your life as a student. And now, listeners, let's go through some important vocabulary from today's episode together, step by step, so you can understand them better and use them confidently in your daily conversations.
Great idea, Henry. Let's start with the word routine. A routine means a sequence of actions that you regularly follow in your daily life. For example, someone might say, her morning routine includes meditation, breakfast, and a short walk to start the day on a positive and refreshing note.
That's a very useful word. Another important word is stretch. To stretch means to extend your muscles to prepare your body or help it relax. For example, he likes to stretch for a few minutes before bed to help his body relax and improve his sleep quality.
Exactly. And let's look at the word energized. It means feeling full of energy, active and motivated. For example, the fresh air during her morning jog made her feel energized and ready for the rest of the day.
That connects nicely with the word productive, which means being able to accomplish a lot in a short amount of time efficiently. For example, she felt very productive after finishing her project ahead of schedule and completing all her tasks successfully.
Another very common word is unwind, which means to relax after a busy or stressful period. For example, after a long and tiring day at work, he likes to unwind by listening to his favorite music and taking some quiet time for himself.
Yes, and we also have the word focused, which means giving your full attention to something without distractions. For example, with her phone on silent, she remained focused on completing her assignment efficiently and on time.
Let's not forget self-care, which is very important. It means activities and habits that help you take care of your physical and mental health. For example, a warm bath and reading a good book are part of her self-care routine every Sunday.
That's a great one. Another useful word is packed, which means very busy or full of activities. For example, his schedule was packed with meetings, leaving very little time for breaks or relaxation during the day.
And, of course, balance, which means having a healthy mix of activities without too much stress or too much rest. For example, he tries to balance work with leisure activities to avoid burnout and maintain a healthy lifestyle.
Finally, we have the phrase take on, which means to start or manage a responsibility. For example, she decided to take on the responsibility of organizing the company event and handled it very successfully.
That's it for today's vocabulary section. Try using these words and phrases in your daily routine to make them more natural and familiar. They're perfect for talking about organization, habits, and staying balanced in your life.
Thank you everyone for listening to today's episode. We hope Emma's daily routine gave you some useful ideas and inspiration for building your own routine.
Yes, thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, even small routines can make a big difference over time. Until next time, keep practicing, stay balanced, and most importantly, have fun with your English journey.
Goodbye everyone, and keep learning. Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected just for you.
And don't forget that we've attached a free PDF in the description. It includes all the useful vocabulary and phrases used in this episode.
Right, Emma, especially the ones related to describing daily activities and routines, so all of you can review them, practice them, and even try to use them in your own daily conversations.